Check Podcasts.
Hi, I'm Bruce Williams. I'm the CEO of the Greater Victoria Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to Chamber Chats, coming to you, as always, from the podcasting studio here at the Czech Media Group, one of our chamber champions. I'd like to acknowledge, as always, that I live and work in the land of the Lekwungen-speaking nations, known to us today as Songhees and Kosapsum. And all of this is made possible by the support of Island Savings, a division of First West Credit Union, who are changing what banking can do for people, for community, and for the planet. You probably have picked up by now that I'm a bit of a food guy. Food is my therapy. That's what I do. I cook. That's how I relax. That's how I just love food. I love experimenting with things. But there are those times when you get home and you say to yourself, I don't want to cook tonight. And I don't feel really like doing some kind of order out or fast food. So on this program today, we're going to tell you about some very unique opportunities for people that can bring you some food right to your door, lovingly prepared by them, beginning with a company called Wolf. And John Watson is the owner of Wolf. John, how are you?
Good, thank you. How
Wolf
are you doing?
Good, thank you. Wolf actually stands for something, right?
Yeah, Way of Life Foods.
Yeah. So when you meet somebody for the first time, how do you explain to them what your company is and what you do?
Essentially, it's a weekly meal prep delivery service. So once a week, people can order online, and I change the menu every week, and they kind of just order it. We make it once a week, do fresh production, and have it delivered to their homes on a Sunday afternoon.
And it's just, you're good to go for the whole week.
That's right.
How amazing is that? What's your background in food?
I've been in the food industry for about 25 years, and I've literally done everything from dishwasher all the way up to owner. And even owned a part of a restaurant at one point in time, and realized that demographic was getting a little tough in Victoria. So I had to get a little creative and decided to make a meal prep service.
Okay, so tell me about that idea. Where did that come from? How did you come up with this?
Well, after I got out of the food service industry for the first time, after selling part of the business, I went and did a retreat up island at a place called Fresh Start for about 14 days. And I did a cleanse and learned how to I did a detox. And then built my system back up with a plant-based diet, and my mind just kind of exploded. And I was like, oh my God, this is kind of how I have to eat from now on. So I decided to go home, and I just started meal prepping for myself. And next thing you know, I was meal prepping for my girlfriend, my mother-in-law, sister, brother. It was kind of just exponentially kind of happened. And I realized that there was a product here that could probably help and do a lot of good. And that's essentially how it happened.
So I guess people just kept saying to you, John, this stuff's really good. You should be selling this stuff.
Yeah, it just kept growing and growing. Next thing you know, I had to kind of borrow a friend's commercial kitchen, and then kind of grew out of that, and then had to get a regular space, and it kept growing.
So you use very healthy ingredients. You mentioned plant-based was something that you had done in the past as well. But tell me about what you use when you prepare this food.
Yeah, originally we started with plant-based, but I have introduced some meat and proteins primarily actually now. All of our base ingredients are essentially whole foods. I use high-end oils, high-end pink Himalayan salt. All of our food right now is essentially gluten-free. So I use gluten-free soy sauce, Bragg's amino acids. If I do end up using a little bit of sugar, it's like a coconut sugar or honey or maple syrup. And I stay away from all processed foods.
Tell me what you made for this week. What are people eating that you delivered to them on Sunday?
Oh, this week they are I got a Mexican pulled beef with mojo Cuban potatoes and a cold coleslaw. I got a chicken parmesan with herb smashed potatoes, carrots and broccoli, barbecue turkey loaf with potatoes as well, and a roast squash and zucchini with Asiago cheese, Korean meatballs with short grain pilaf with Korean green beans, and a mango cod with basmati rice and caramelized green onions. And then I do a weekly special every week that some clients like to have, and it's just whatever I feel like making when I go in there tomorrow and for Friday in the production.
I found an interesting thing on your website when you talk about how many different kinds of flour you use when you talk about being gluten-free. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we primarily use rice flour, but sometimes if I'm doing a little bit of baking, I will use a gluten-free all-purpose flour. Chickpea flour sometimes makes its way into it, but primarily it's rice flour. I find that's pretty good.
They all have, because I mess around with that stuff too, but like coconut flour and chickpea flour have different consistencies too, right?
Yeah, they have a different consistency, and sometimes, especially the one like coconut flour, has a definite coconut taste, right? So if I'm doing something that needs a sweet profile, then I'll use the coconut flour. But rice flour is the best one I've found that kind of emulates regular all-purpose flour.
You also do stuff particularly focused on seniors. Tell me about that.
Yeah, this year we did, well, we've always been open to catering to seniors, but our meals we found were a little bit too big for them. So this year we've kind of brought out a line where we're doing meals half the size and half the price for seniors, and it's actually going very, very well right now. We've had haven't really done a lot of advertising or anything. It's just been kind of word of mouth, and we're getting a lot of great feedback from that. A lot of the seniors are ordering every week now, making sure that they get some nutrients and having a couple of meals every day. So yeah, I found that was really important, especially with, the Meals on Wheels program kind of going belly up in Victoria. There really isn't a lot of help out there for the seniors. So it was a decision we made because we can do some good at the same time as well as increasing our business.
So people are now wondering, I wonder if he delivers where I live. Where do you deliver?
Yeah, we deliver all the way up to Sydney. I go as far out as to Machosen. Don't really go to Souk. I mean, the idea is I'd love to be able to do everything for the whole island as we grow. I'd love to have drop-off locations in Nanaimo and Duncan, Courtney, Campbell River, and that's something we're working towards. So we're just trying to gauge some interest, and once we get enough interest in those places, we will be heading up island. But right now, it's all of essentially Greater Victoria, all the way to kind of Machosen and all the way up to Sydney and the rest of Victoria.
Great. So it's as simple as just going onto your website, right? Picking the orders that you
Yep.
want to place, and what's the website?
www.wolfmealprep.com.
Wolf Meal Prep. This guy is the owner. He is John Watson. John, thanks
Yep.
for your time. We appreciate it. So now you might be thinking, can I get somebody to do that to make my kids' lunches for school? As a matter of fact, yes. We're going to talk about that next. That's right. Your kids' lunches can be prepared by somebody else. And that somebody else is Jason Potter, who owns an operation called This Week's Lunch. Jason, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Bruce?
I'm good. That's a really clean kitchen behind you there.
Yeah. Oh, that's how we like to keep it.
Okay, same question to you. When you meet somebody for the first time, how do you explain your business to them?
Really, really similar. We're a weekly meal prep company where we deliver healthy, pre-made kids lunches every week. The trick for us is that people haven't really understood that lunch is an option for meal prep yet. So I kind of have to explain that no, we're lunch is a thing too. It's not just dinners anymore.
So, where did this idea come from? What was the trigger point for you to say, yeah, I can do that?
Well, I was doing it. I had two kids,
Oh,
and I was making lunches. Before I had them, did not know what an undertaking it was every night to come up with some new things to make for the kids, pack for the kids, and it really turned after dinner and the bedtimes into a very difficult time for us. So I actually went looking for another company to do this. And I went out and I said, you know what, we're getting dinners delivered. Let's get lunches delivered. And I couldn't find anybody that was doing it. So jumped in, and instead of making lunches for two people, I all of a sudden had to make lunches for 20. So that didn't work out great for me at first, but now that we have staff in our beautiful clean kitchen, we're doing a really good job of that, and I don't have to make lunches for my kids anymore.
well, you saw the opportunity and you took advantage of it.
That's
Do
right.
you have a food background at all?
I have a very much food background in eating.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
love eating. I've never been a professional cook. I'm a fairly, I would say, accomplished home cook. But we actually have a registered dietitian on staff. So whenever we're talking about new recipes, nutrition balance, healthy, options for kids, we bring in the experts to make sure that we're doing that properly.
Well, I think we all know that some kids can be kind of fussy about the way they eat. How do you get around that?
Yeah, that was a challenge for sure at first. And we've solved that really by just bringing in more and more options. So right now we're up to, I think, 96 different options that we cycle through. Not everything is available every week, but we've got quite a stable now over the years. And some of them we've just made really simple. Whether it's a hummus and pita, or even a falafel and tzatziki or something like that, or crackers and cheese. The mac and cheese we make, it's house made mac and cheese. It's kids love that. So we found that there's enough options for most people these days.
Yeah. You can handle with food sensitivities and things like that too, allergies.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a fairly robust offering of what we call gluten-friendly options. So there are options that are made separately from everything else with gluten-free ingredients. let's say gluten-free pasta, for example. We don't call it full celiac because there's other things going on in the kitchen and the space. But for anybody with a sensitivity to gluten or dairy or a couple other things that we accommodate to, we've got some options for that now.
So you're making kids lunches. What's the age qualification for this? Like if somebody's got a 32-year-old son that's still living in their basement, do they qualify to get lunch from you?
We'll bring that for sure. Our age range is actually it's huge. I know for a fact that we have clients whose kids are as young as 2, and we have clients who are as young as 89. We have a very nice older lady who's been with us for several years, and she emails me almost every week and says how nice our delivery driver is that brought her meals that day. And so we've got options for everybody, and I even order a couple every week for myself.
Okay. So what went out this week?
We had about 25 different things, so I won't go through them all.
Okay.
But some of the popular ones were pot pies. We make a flatbread, mini pizza. So the cheese and the Hawaiian were super popular. And we also tried out a lentil curry with rice this week that orders were really, really high on that one. So it's a vegetarian curry, mild curry for the kids. I would add some hot sauce if it was for me, but a nice mild lentil curry that seemed to be really popular. So we'll see what the feedback is on that one.
Is there one thing that always has stood out as the favorite?
Mini cheese pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Mini cheese pizza is a really, really popular one. And our house-made mac and cheese, we actually had one lady who ordered 5 of them every week.
Wow.
Because her daughter just wanted to eat that.
So what's the delivery model? How do people get this stuff?
Every Sunday, we bring it to your house. And it's a full week's worth of stuff packed up in such a way that it lasts for the week. Some of the items we say are early in the week items, like the sandwiches. Some are later in the week items, but we bring it right to your door with snacks and fruit and veggies and everything that you need to pack kids' lunches that week.
So when school is out in the summertime, do things slow down for you a little bit?
They have historically. Last summer, we were really lucky. We started doing a trial program with day camps in Oak Bay and Saanich. And we did, I think, 3 or 4 camps in each of them last year, and we're hoping to really expand on that this year, so we can keep our staff going throughout the summer.
And I get you do things seasonally too, I suppose, too, as things are harvested and come around.
We try as best we can. So we need to keep some staple items, but in terms of definitely the produce we have, you'll see we kind of source what's in season, especially for the fruits. Fruit seems to be the one where it varies the most season to season. So what you'll get for fruit in the winter is very different than what you'll get in the summer.
Well, the name of the company explains exactly what it is you do. It's called This Week's Lunch. And again, it's just through the website, right? And what's your website?
thisweekslunch.com.
It's that simple. Jason Potter, for you, has This Week's Lunch. You know what we need now, though? We need some beverages. We're going to talk about that next. Yeah, so we've talked about having food delivered to you for your kids or for you. What if you want to have a beverage with that? Wouldn't it be great if somebody could just drive up with some sort of a device that could give you whatever you wanted to drink? It does exist. It's called the Bubble Bus. And the Bubble Bus person, the owner and the operator of that is Kim Brown. Kim, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Same question. You meet somebody for the first time. How do you describe the Bubble Bus to them?
Well, the Bubble Bus Company is a mobile beverage service that tailors to everybody's unique vision for either their wedding, backyard barbecue, grad ceremonies, you name it.
Any kind of a party, you're there.
Pretty much, we bring the fun.
With the name, too. So what inspired this idea? Where did you come up with this plan?
So I've been in the hospitality industry for 25 plus years, different avenues, everything from hairdressing to being in the kitchen to serving, managing. And I've always just liked being around people and doing this. And it's always kind of been a side gig. So in 2023, the opportunity came for me to purchase the Bubble Bus Company from Derek and Lindsay from Four Frames. And that was established, I do believe, in 2019. So we took it over in 2023.
Yeah, Four Frames is a company that will come to your event and take pictures for you.
That's
When
correct.
you see the little thought bubbles and funny hats and big glasses and stuff and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So how do we book the bubble bus? How do we get that going?
Oh, that's pretty easy. So we have our website, of course, phone, email, social media. I say a lot of our clientele comes through social media, which I'm not very good at, I have to admit. But yeah, so they just call, send us a quick email, or a text, however it be. Then I ask them a couple of questions, and then it just goes back and forth. And then we usually tailor a package based on their vision.
Okay. So you have a very interesting fleet of vehicles that you use to do this. Tell me about the tap truck.
Oh, so we have a Japanese tap truck, and it's got four taps in it. This tap truck we usually use is it's very unique. It's a lot of fun. Lots of people, like I get waves when I'm driving down the highway, which is kind of fun. So yeah, so we just pop it open and it's got taps. It's got a set of four taps in there, and they're refrigerated, so anything that comes out of it is cold, cold, cold. So.
Nice. Now that's a tap truck. You also have a tap cart. Tell me about the tap cart.
Yeah, so the tap carts are usually, so I wouldn't say that they're for small weddings because they can be used for anything. I usually recommend those for like if you're only having one or two different types of beverages, um, um, garden weddings, cocktail hour, just a little add-on.
So you also have an ice cream truck. We better talk
I
about
sure
that. Tell me
do.
about that.
So the ice cream truck, that is so much fun. So this weekend we actually had a training session with with my teams. We have some new people on the team, and we opened the truck up so they got to serve the clientele on the street, all my neighbors, which was fun. So it's an ice cream truck. It's a single serve. We try to use lactose vegan ice cream. People don't usually know the difference between it. It's got a couple of dispensers on it, but the unique thing is it does have three taps on it as well. So not only can we do ice cream, but we can do like floats, and some of those floats can be a chocolate beer float or a prosecco float or just a float.
Wow.
Yeah.
My favorite's a root beer float, just for the record, if anybody wants to know. So who does the work to sort of retrofit or design these tap things?
So the bus actually came to us, built like this.
Oh.
So it was inspired by, I do believe, Derek, and yeah. So that's
And you also have walls, food walls. Tell me about the food walls.
so we have four different walls. We have our Prosecco wall. We have an escort wall, which holds either people use it to as a backdrop or candy bar, put flowers on. We have a donut wall, and we also have a pretzel wall. So those are little add-ons. You can actually add those onto the back of the truck, the main truck, or you can, we have freestanding. You can do it so that they're freestanding as well.
You also have something called Whole Foods, not like the grocery store, different spelling. This is HOLE Foods. Tell me
Yeah, so
about
the
Whole
Whole
Foods.
Foods is actually a play on the donut wall.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, so it's just the donut wall. It just says Whole Foods.
When I was a kid, I've mentioned this before. My family owned and operated a bakery when I was a kid, and my
Oh,
dad had a sign in his office that said, "As you ramble through life, friend, no matter what your goal, keep your eye upon the donut and not upon the hole." So I still have that at
that's
my
good.
house. I have that at my house. So what kind of cocktails can you make? The tap infers beer, but tell me about cocktails.
So the cocktails, so we have bartenders on staff. We're all bartenders and we're all SI certified, serve it right, certified. We can create everything from your basic cocktail to signature drinks. We have mocktails as well. So that being just without alcohol. We also, with the taps, we have the option we can keg. So we do kegging a lot. So if you're having a margarita, I will keg margaritas so that they come out of the taps. So it's just easier, like it's easier than us just making margarita after margarita. So it's especially for bigger events, it's a lot easier to do it that way.
I would think you probably have a lot of fun doing this.
Oh, we sure do. Who doesn't want to go to a party? People ask me all the time, why do you do this? Why do you always do this? And I'm like, who doesn't want to go to a party?
Yeah, for sure. So who gets the liquor permit for this? Is that you or is that the host or how does that work?
It depends depends. Majority of the time, the host gets the permit, but there is an exception to every rule. So,
And the way this works is that you don't sort of arrive with your choice of beverages. It's people tell you ahead of time what they want, right? And you
yeah.
bring that. Yeah.
So majority of the time, so with our BC liquor laws, majority of the time, it's up to the host to get the alcohol. So what we do is we offer a beverage service. So the host will say, okay, we would like this, this, and this, and then for a small fee, we will go and get this, this, and that for them.
Okay. And you provide the
Yeah.
assorted glasses or glassware, mugs, cups,
Yeah,
whatever.
so we usually rent the glasses just because we can't determine, and my husband would get really mad if I had a garage full of glasses. And so we rent the glasses, but it's always based off the uniqueness of the event that we're doing, right? So there's lots of the going right now is vintage glasses. Those are really hard to find. Um, yeah, that's the going for glasses. So
Yeah.
whatever they want.
Where do you go? Like, do you cover the entire CRD? Do you go outside of Greater Victoria? Where do you do this?
Yeah, so we service the island, up and down the island. We also go to the Gulf Islands, and we've been over to Vancouver as well, as far as Vancouver.
Okay. And just to go, we talked about some fun foods, but you do like a full buffet service thing too, don't you?
No, we actually don't do a buffet. So we have a charcuterie cart.
Oh, that's what I'm
So
thinking. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, so that's okay. So, but I do know a lot of caterers, so that's okay. So we do a charcuterie cart that offers 12 different, it's got 12 different bins in it, and we offer everything from different meats, cheeses, fruits, vegetables. And then this year we're also in the process of building a pizza cart, which will be really good for those late night snacks.
Starting to sound like summertime already. How do people reach you and how do we do a booking?
Yeah, you can look us up on our website. You can send us an email. You can call us. I respond usually within 24 hours, depends on if I'm at an event or not. But you can get a hold of us at our website is www.thebubblebusco.com.
Bubblebusco.com. Cool.
Mhm.
So there we have it. We have the food and the drinks that you need to be delivered to your place. Kim Brown is with the Bubble Bus. And we also heard today from John Watson from Way of Life Meal Prep and Jason Potter from This Week's Lunch. Thank you to all of you for being here today. I'm Bruce Williams, and we will see you again for another Chamber Chat.